congratulations are in order. You and your partner, Lisa Bonet, you've just got married last month.
Before he became Aquaman, Jason Momoa secretly watched The Cosby Show reruns every night, dreaming of the woman who would later become his wife. Their love story was like a fairy tale, the towering Hawaiian warrior and the free-spirited bohemian beauty. But they ran out of juice and could no longer sustain their love. If Hollywood hadn't come calling, would they have lasted? How has life been for them since the divorce? Join us as Jason Momoa finally breaks his silence after divorce. Breaking of silence. For months, Jason Momoa did what superheroes often do best. He kept quiet. While gossip websites buzzed and fans traded theories on social media about his split from Lisa Bonet, the hulking 6'4" actor buried himself in his work. He threw himself into filming Fast X, where he played the bad guy Dante Reyes, zooming through streets in high-speed car chases. When cameras stopped rolling, he spent his free time cleaning up beaches and speaking at environmental rallies, staying true to his Hawaiian roots.
Today I stand before you as a singular representative of all island nations. I am honored to represent those who continue to fight as stewards of this planet.
But even Aquaman can't hold back the tide forever. During a late-night interview in his favorite laid-back Hawaiian restaurant, surrounded by the sound of waves crashing outside, Momoa finally opened up about the end of his 16-year relationship with Lisa Bonet. He said it wasn't easy, and that there was so much love between them, and there still was, but sometimes life takes one in different directions. The split wasn't a snap decision made in the heat of an argument. Instead, it came after years of trying to bridge the growing gap between their different life paths. While Momoa's career demanded him to spend months away filming in places like Australia and Canada, Bonet had built a peaceful life in their Los Angeles home, focusing on raising their kids, Lola and Nakoa Wolf. Between bites of fresh poke, Momoa shared how he still drives his truck over to Lisa's house to help fix things, or surprise the kids with impromptu adventures. He believes just because their marriage ended doesn't mean their family did. The conversation shifted to how his Hawaiian upbringing shaped his view of family. Growing up with divorced parents himself, Momoa learned early on that families can take different shapes while staying strong. He explained that in Hawaii, they have this thing called ohana. It means family, but it's bigger than just blood relatives. It was about taking care of each other, no matter what. When asked about moving forward, Momoa talked about his upcoming projects, including teaching his kids to protect the ocean and working on environmental documentaries. As the interview wrapped up, a young fan approached their table, clutching an Aquaman action figure. Momoa signed it, showing that same warmth that had first caught Lisa's attention years ago. But how did we get here? What really happened on that cold January morning when Hollywood woke up to the news that one of its most beloved couples was calling it quits? The separation that shocked fans. On January 12, 2022, Instagram feeds around the world froze on one post. Jason Momoa, usually known for sharing cheerful photos of his motorcycles and rock climbing adventures, had posted something different. In a heartfelt message written on a plain black background, he announced that he and Lisa Bonet were separating after 16 years together. The news surprised their fans. A few months earlier, the couple had been seen walking their dog in Los Angeles, laughing and looking happy. They had also finished fixing up their dream house, which had Lisa's crystals and Jason's vintage cameras. Everything seemed fine, but things were changing. Friends noticed Jason spending more time at his Airstream trailer in a friend's yard when he was in Los Angeles. Lisa stopped going with him to movie premieres and stayed home, sharing kind words of support instead. Soon, rumors started spreading. Some said Lisa didn't like Jason's growing fame. Others said his busy schedule kept him away too much. Magazines shared different stories from sources and friends about what might have gone wrong. Jason and Lisa stayed quiet through everything. When they were seen in public, it was often together. Jason once brought a Christmas tree to Lisa's house, and they both attended their daughter Zoe's movie premiere for The Batman. These moments left fans confused. Social media was full of questions like, are they getting back together? Some Hollywood shows even talked about a possible reunion. But over time, it became clear they were not getting back together. Instead, they showed a new way to handle a breakup. They still had family dinners. Jason would stop by Lisa's house to help with repairs, or take their kids, Lola and Nakwa Wolf, surfing. Lisa would send Jason care packages to his movie sets with crystals and his favorite snacks. Their divorce was finalized in January 2024. Unlike many Hollywood divorces, there were no public fights or messy court battles. They focused on their children and kept the friendship that had brought them together. For many fans, seeing Jason and Lisa handle their separation with respect showed a different kind of story. It was not the happy ending some hoped for, but it was honest and gave a new way to look at love and family. To truly understand how this love story began and why its end touched so many hearts, we need to travel back to a smoky jazz club in Los Angeles, 2005. What magic happened on that fateful night when an 8-year-old boy's dream finally came true? Love at first sight. The night Jason Momoa met Lisa Bonet was not a regular evening. The jazz club in Los Angeles was filled with the sounds of saxophone and piano. The air smelled like coffee and cigarettes, and the lights were low. Jason was 26 years old and trying to make it in Hollywood. He felt nervous as his friend introduced him to Lisa Bonet. She was someone he had admired since he was 8 years old, watching her on TV in his mom's living room in Iowa. He had even told his mom back then, "I'm going to marry her someday."
It was more than that, because ever since I was like 8 years old and I saw her on the TV, and I was like, "Mommy, I want that one." I'm like, I'm gonna stalk you for the rest of my life and I'm gonna get you.
Lisa wore a long dress, and her dreadlocks hung past her shoulders. Jason had dreadlocks too, inspired by how Lisa wore hers on The Cosby Show. He tried to stay calm, but he was very excited to meet her. Later, Lisa offered to drive Jason home. On the way, they stopped at the 101 coffee shop in Hollywood. It was late at night, and the diner was quiet. Lisa ordered a Guinness beer and a bowl of grits. Jason found it unexpected but interesting. He told his friends later that he was amazed by how genuine Lisa was. They talked for hours about their love for art, their mixed cultural backgrounds, and their dreams of creating meaningful work. The coffee shop staff started putting chairs on tables, but Jason and Lisa didn't pay much attention. They were busy talking and finding out how much they had in common. Both felt out of place in Hollywood and didn't fit into its usual style. As they talked, they shared stories about their families. Lisa talked about her daughter Zoe, who was a teenager at the time. Jason shared memories of his childhood, split between his father in Hawaii and his mother in Iowa. They both understood what it was like to grow up between two different worlds and cultures. By early morning, something had changed between them. It wasn't just that they liked each other. It was that they seemed to truly understand one another. The next day, Jason called his best friend and asked him if he could remember the girl he used to talk about from The Cosby Show. He told him he had just spent all night talking to her, and she's even more amazing in real life. That night was only the beginning. Jason and Lisa didn't know it yet, but their connection would last for 16 years, bring them 2 children, and create a story that stayed strong even after their time together ended. As their life together grew into a family, Hollywood started to bring challenges. What happens when one partner's growing success meant spending more time away while the other stayed behind. Family dreams and career realities. Everything changed when Jason landed the role of Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones. Suddenly, the laid-back actor who loved spending weekends painting with his kids found himself filming in faraway places like Belfast, Northern Ireland. The show's massive success opened new doors, but each opportunity seemed to pull him further from the cozy life he'd built with Lisa. The real game-changer came when director Zack Snyder called about Aquaman. It wasn't just another role, it was a chance to become a superhero, to show the world a different kind of action star. The timing couldn't have been trickier. Their son Nakoa Wolf had just started school, and their daughter Lola was getting serious about her art classes. Lisa had finally found her groove, teaching yoga and working on small independent films that let her stay close to home. The Aquaman schedule was brutal. Jason spent 6 months in Australia, coming home only for brief visits. He'd FaceTime the kids every night, reading them bedtime stories through the screen. Sometimes he'd miss important moments: school plays, first skateboard rides, family dinners. He tried making up for it by bringing them to set when possible, turning his trailer into a temporary home filled with drawings and homework assignments. Lisa held down the fort in Los Angeles, keeping their world steady. She'd grown up in the spotlight herself and knew its costs. Their beautiful house in Topanga Canyon became a sanctuary away from Hollywood's chaos. She filled it with healing crystals, art supplies, and the sounds of vinyl records playing jazz, the music that had brought them together. But maintaining balance got harder. Jason's career exploded after Aquaman's billion-dollar success. More big movies followed: Dune, Sweet Girl, Fast X. Each project meant months away from home. When he was there, his schedule was packed with training sessions, interviews, and meetings. The quiet evenings they once spent cooking dinner together became rare treats. Lisa noticed the shift first. The free-spirited man she fell in love with now had to check his phone constantly for work emails. Their peaceful mornings turned into planning sessions for his next press tour. Even their shared love of art took a back seat. Jason's paintings sat untouched in his studio, while scripts piled up on his desk. They tried finding middle ground. Lisa visited film sets when she could. Jason turned down some roles to spend more time at home. But Hollywood doesn't wait for anyone. Each passing year brought bigger opportunities, longer absences, and more pressure to strike while the iron was hot. Their love stayed strong, but their lives began moving in different directions. Lisa craved the simple life they'd once had: bare feet in the garden, lazy Sundays with the kids, time to breathe and create. Meanwhile, Jason's world kept getting bigger, louder, more demanding. Sometimes, love isn't enough when two paths start leading to different destinations. Before Jason and Lisa went their separate ways, they built something special, a family that worked differently from most in Hollywood. They showed how ex-spouses, new partners, and children could all get along. How did they make their family work so well? Building their blended family. When Lisa got pregnant with their first child in 2007, Jason didn't just prepare to become a father. He was getting ready to join an already existing family. Lisa's teenage daughter, Zoe, from her marriage to rock star Lenny Kravitz, would be a big sister. It could have been awkward or complicated, but instead, it turned into something beautiful. Their daughter Lola arrived on a sunny July day. Jason chose her middle name, Iolani, because hawks were flying overhead when she was born, a sign he took from his Hawaiian culture. The whole family was there. Lisa, Jason, young Zoe, and even Lenny came to welcome the newest member of their unusual clan. A year later, their son arrived during a stormy December night. They named him Nakua Wolf Manakawapo Namakaeha Momoa. Each part of his name had special meaning in Hawaiian culture. Nakoa means warrior. Mana stands for strength, and Kawapo describes the rain that fell the night he was born. What made their family special wasn't just the new babies, it was how everyone fit together. Lenny Kravitz would drop by for family dinners, bringing his guitar to jam with Jason. Zoe found herself with not just one dad, but two father figures who showed up at her school plays and later her movie premieres. During holidays, they'd all gather at their house in Topanga Canyon, cooking traditional Hawaiian dishes alongside Jewish recipes from Lisa's mom. Jason taught all three kids to rock climb and skateboard. Lisa and Lenny shared their love of music with them. On weekends, you might find the whole group, Lisa, Jason, Lenny, and all three kids, hiking in the canyon or having impromptu drum circles in the backyard. Their home became known as the safe house among their friends' kids. It was where teenagers could come to talk about their problems, where everyone was welcome, and where family meant more than just blood relations. Jason would often say he learned this concept of extended family, or ohana, from his Hawaiian background. They celebrated everything together: birthdays, graduations, and career milestones. When Zoe started acting, she had three proud parents cheering her on. When Lola showed talent in painting, both Jason and Lenny built her an art studio in the backyard. When Nakoa Wolf became interested in music, he had a rock star, Uncle Lenny, to teach him guitar. This wasn't the kind of blended family you usually see in Hollywood, where ex-spouses avoid each other and kids get caught in the middle. Instead, they created their own rules. Love wasn't divided. It multiplied. They showed that family isn't about who's married to whom, but about choosing to care for each other, no matter what. Even as Jason's career took him away more often, this foundation of family love stayed strong. They had built something rare and precious. A home where differences were celebrated, where past relationships weren't erased, but honored, and where love knew no boundaries. At the heart of this extraordinary family was Lisa Bonet, the woman who captured Jason's heart long before they ever met. But who was this mysterious actress who walked away from fame at its peak? And what made her so different from every other star in Hollywood? Lisa Bonet, the woman who changed his life. Born in San Francisco in 1967, Lisa Bonet never quite fit into any single box. Her father was African American, her mother Jewish American, and in the 1970s, being mixed race wasn't as accepted as it is today. Growing up in the sunny but sometimes unfriendly neighborhoods of Reseda, California, young Lisa learned early on to create her own path. At just 16 years old, Lisa landed the role that changed her life, Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show. While other teenage girls were worried about high school drama, Lisa was becoming one of the most famous teens in America. Every Thursday night, millions of people tuned in to watch her character's adventures. But Lisa wasn't interested in being America's sweetheart. While her castmates played it safe, she showed up to red carpet events with wild hairstyles and clothes that broke all the rules. She didn't just want to be cute, she wanted to be real. This rebellious spirit led her to take risks that shocked many people. In 1987, at just 19, she starred in a dark movie called Angel Heart. It was nothing like The Cosby Show. It was scary, grown-up, and controversial. Many people criticized her choice, but Lisa didn't care. She wanted to be true to herself, not what others wanted her to be. That same year, she married rock musician Lenny Kravitz. They were young and in love, making music together in their New York apartment. When their daughter Zoe was born in 1988, Lisa stepped back from acting to focus on being a mom. Hollywood executives couldn't understand why she'd walk away from fame. But for Lisa, nothing was more important than raising her daughter with awareness and love. After divorcing Lenny in 1993, Lisa took on only small acting roles that interested her. She spent more time studying yoga, meditation, and healing practices. Her house became filled with crystals, sage for cleansing, and books about spiritual growth. While other actresses chased awards and magazine covers, Lisa was teaching her daughter about organic farming and the importance of being honest with yourself. She also became known for speaking uncomfortable truths. In interviews, she talked about racism in Hollywood, the pressure on women to look perfect, and the importance of protecting the environment. Some people called her difficult, but others saw her as brave for standing up for what she believed in. By the time she met Jason Momoa in 2005, Lisa had created a life completely different from most Hollywood stars. She lived in a canyon away from the city, grew her own food, and only worked on projects that meant something to her. Her home was a peaceful haven where creativity and authenticity mattered more than fame or money. For Jason, who grew up feeling caught between two worlds himself, Lisa's strength in being exactly who she was became an inspiration. She showed him that success didn't have to mean losing yourself, a lesson that would shape both their time together and apart. But like Lisa, Jason's journey to finding himself was filled with struggles and self-discovery. How did a mixed-race kid from Hawaii, who felt like an outsider in small-town Iowa, grow up to become one of Hollywood's most authentic stars? The making of Jason Momoa. Born in Honolulu on August 1, 1979, Joseph Jason Namakaiha Momoa entered the world as a child of two very different worlds. His dad was a full-blooded native Hawaiian painter, while his mom was a free-spirited photographer with German and Irish roots. But his parents split up when he was just a baby, changing the course of his life forever. Little Jason moved to Iowa with his mom when he was still in diapers. Trading Hawaii's warm beaches for Iowa's cornfields wasn't easy. In Norwalk, a small town where most kids had blonde hair and blue eyes, Jason stood out with his golden brown skin and wild dark curls. Some kids made fun of his name, others just stared. He was the only Pacific Islander in his school. Every summer, though, Jason would fly back to Hawaii to stay with his dad. These weren't just vacation visits, they were lessons in his heritage. His father taught him about Hawaiian traditions, like the proper way to catch fish, and the meanings behind ancient chants. In the evenings, they'd sit on the beach while his dad painted and told stories about their ancestors. Back in Iowa, Jason's mom made sure he stayed connected to his creative side. She filled their home with art supplies and cameras. When kids at school teased him about looking different, she encouraged him to channel those feelings into painting and writing poetry. She also taught him to find beauty in being unique. Sports became Jason's way of fitting in. He was naturally athletic and grew to be much taller than his classmates. By high school, he was the guy everyone wanted on their team. But even as a popular athlete, he felt torn between his two homes, the calm spiritual life he knew in Hawaii and the Midwestern American world of Iowa. During his teenage years, Jason discovered acting in a surprising way. His high school drama teacher noticed how he could make the whole class laugh with his stories about mixing up Iowa and Hawaiian slang. She convinced him to try out for the school play. On stage, being different suddenly became an advantage. He could use all his experiences to bring characters to life. But life had other plans first. After high school, Jason moved back to Hawaii to study marine biology. He wanted to learn how to protect the oceans he'd grown up loving. He worked part-time as a surf instructor and bouncer at local restaurants. Then one day, a modeling agent spotted him working in a surf shop and suggested he try modeling to earn extra money for college. That small suggestion led to his first acting job on Baywatch Hawaii. The show wasn't exactly high art, but it let Jason be close to the ocean while learning about television production. More importantly, it helped him realize that his unique background, being both Hawaiian and Midwestern, athletic and artistic, wasn't a weakness. It was his superpower. When love is still strong but paths grow apart, is letting go the bravest form of love? Can a fairy tale still be perfect even without the happily ever after? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.